In part one of Is Jesus the Great I Am, I gave scriptural proof of how it is impossible that I Am is a name of God, and also that Jesus was claiming to be God by saying I am. In this video, I now will address what Jesus was claiming by his famous words. Much of the focus is on the I am portion of Jesus' words, mostly because that is what Trinitarians believe is important, because they believe that Jesus is quoting a divine name of God, which he is not. What should get everyone's attention is the Greek word that was translated as was. The Greek word gnomai is translated as was. The definition of gnomai is to emerge, become, transitioning from one point, realm, or condition to another. Gnomai fundamentally means become, becoming, became, so it is not an exact equivalent to the ordinary equative verb to be. Gnomai means to become and signifies a change of condition, state, or place. So this definition means to be one thing and then become another, or transition from one state to another. However, Trinitarians understand this passage to mean Jesus is saying that he existed before Abraham. The Greek definition of that word, however, shows that that is impossible and violates the Greek definition. So if we go back to the verse and replace the Greek word gnomai, or was, with its definition, we can clarify what Jesus was claiming. Truly, truly, I say to you, before Abraham transitions from one state to another, I am. Question: is there any state of being of significance that Jesus changed into or transferred from one form to another? In the second Psalm, there is a major prophecy about Jesus. It states, I will tell you of the decree. Yahweh said to me, you are my son. Today I have begotten you. This prophecy is concerning Jesus being begotten. Paul clarifies at what point this begetting occurred. This he has fulfilled to us, their children, by raising Jesus, as also it is written in the second Psalm, you are my son. Today I have begotten you. Paul is stating that Jesus became the begotten Son of God at his resurrection. To further state this, he in the next verse says, and as for the fact that he raised him from the dead, no more to return to corruption, he has spoken in this way, I will give you the holy and sure blessings of David. Jesus was the first to be resurrected into an immortal, non-corruptible body. More passages that speak of this are, and he is the head of the body, the church. He is in the beginning, the firstborn from the dead, that in everything he might be preeminent. For those whom he foreknew, he also predestined to be conformed to the image of his Son, in order that he might be the firstborn among many brothers. And from Jesus Christ, the faithful witness, the firstborn of the dead, and the ruler of kings on earth, to him who loves us and has freed us from our sins by his blood. So getting back to John 8:58, based on the evidence of the meaning of the Greek word gnomai, and Jesus going from a man to a glorified, resurrected, immortal man, it is clear that Jesus was claiming that before Abraham will be changed or resurrected, that he will. In John 8:56, Jesus says, your father Abraham rejoiced that he would see my day. He saw it and was glad. Yahweh told Abraham in Genesis, now Yahweh said to Abram, go from your country and your kindred and your father's house to the land that I will show you, and I will make of you a great nation, and I will bless you and make your name great, so that you will be a blessing. Jesus said Abraham saw his day and was glad. Abraham's faith in God was to prove to be a blessing to all. That day had come with Jesus' arrival, and this is the time that Abraham rejoiced to see. However, the Jews did not understand the statement Jesus made in John 8:56 because their reply was, "So the Jews said to him, 'You are not yet 50 years old, and you have seen Abraham?'" This was not what Jesus said at all. He said Abraham saw his day, not that he saw Abraham. In the climactic finish of a very intense dialogue between Jesus and the Jews, Jesus throws the final verbal blow by claiming he will be resurrected before the father of Judaism, Abraham. This is why the Jews then wanted to stone him. They felt Jesus had not only insulted them, but more importantly, they felt that he insulted Abraham. After all the major criticism Jesus had given the Jews in chapter 8 of John's Gospel, the last straw was Jesus claiming he will be resurrected ahead of Abraham. In conclusion, Jesus was saying he will be resurrected before Abraham. The word genamahe is improperly translated as was when words like becomes, emerges, arises, comes to pass, happens, takes place, comes, etc. would have been more appropriate. After all, these are ways genamahe was translated many times elsewhere in the Bible.